Hey guys, it's Lumen. Today I'll be discussing my thoughts on the brand new One Punch Man collab in 10 minutes or less. Let me preface this review by clearly stating one thing. Overall, the machine is trash to roll. I mean, you have a rolling cost of 7 stones, similar to other collabs in the past, yet the top rarity rate doesn't even eclipse 25%, and then your bottom rarity is literally useless, as they have no assist forms, while half the top rarity feels whack. Even worse, one of the best cards in the machine is roll locked by a mid-rarity status, so if you want the terrible tornado, you're going to have to wade through a haystack of trash to find that diamond needle. The only redeeming value, for me at least, is that most of the machine's hit cards are reasonably obtainable, as Saitama is tradable, albeit at a hefty cost, while Genos can be purchased via an orb skin bundle. Best of all, Garou is a black metal exchange, which means he should be free for most players. Well, let's dig into the few cards that I think are good. Unfortunately, there aren't very many. Obviously, One Punch Man himself should garner a lot of attention as he is the star of the show and consequently the only tradable card in the collab. Indeed, when first looking at his kit, it seems like Saitama is a natural pair for the Wise Queen, Saphira, with his ridiculous 5 BDPs, his massive orb generating post-transform active, and his complementary leader skill. However, upon closer inspection, evidence of a rough fit shines bright. Saitama's leader skill has more survivability, but doesn't add valuable combos like Saphira's does. Though he does have bind resistance, Saitama lacks an SPR. Furthermore, his transformation requires a staggering 30 effective skill boost, which makes it annoying to coordinate with Saphira's transform timing. Worst of all, Saitama doesn't provide a team-wide gemstone burst. Instead, he only boosts himself, which generally reduces overall firepower and consistency. Honestly, for all his flaws, I think Saitama is perfectly fine. Asymmetrical leader pairing should have some rough edges to work through after all. What caught my curiosity was the idea of a turbo tank blob team build that would slowly wade through endgame dungeons. Saitama does have top-notch multipliers comparable to the meta submarines currently dominating the game, and although he doesn't really do damage outside of box matches, he can still juice the rest of the team with his combo orbs, his leader skill, and his orb generator. Maybe it doesn't work, but I do wonder about the possibility. Anyway, even if the base form isn't all that, at least the equip form is a keeper. The awakenings are absolutely ridiculous, as the combo orb represents a significant upgrade to other options like the Wild Boar headgear and the Ice Hammer of the Snowy Peaks. And while the active does pay a humorous tribute to the show with the gargantuan self-spike effect, the important 2-turn Fujin and color void effects are also there as well on a reasonable cooldown. Maybe most players aren't able to afford the equip, but those who are looking for a luxury upgrade, or those who sorely missed out on the aforementioned equips, should consider exchanging for the gloves of the legendary One Punch Man. Next up, we have the S-Class Rank 2 Tatsumaki. Man, it feels like yesterday when I said that Nautilus was saved with the timely arrival of Christmas Manoa. But now we have Tatsumaki, who is ready to take Nautilus to the next gear as another modern heavy-hitting option along with Shusuke Fuji and Kintaro Toyama. In fact, the base form takes firepower to the next level with a rare ability to quad cap through her self spike. Meanwhile, the ultimate evolution form doesn't have the ability to VDP, but should be able to consistently double cap and has a fast cleric active to boot. Moreover, the bonus delay clause is quite nice when setting things up on the early floors. Tatsumaki's equip is also strong with a rare cross awakening and a decent 2-turn Fujin and color void active, but for now I think it pales a little bit in comparison to her other forms. Alright, let's move on to S-Class Rank 14, Genos. Genos is pretty interesting as the first real Tiger-based endgame lead ever in Puzzle & Dragons, and I'm very excited to take him out for a test drive in MD2. Of course, it's great that Genos is relatively accessible to everyone as an orb skin, and I think that he's surprisingly more playable than people may expect due to the power of Madhu's magical hat, Om. It would obviously be much easier with a Christmas Celica or Christmas Xiaodun, but not having those doesn't spell disaster since Genos is inherently a very simple lead. Transform, make a bunch of red orbs, match a big blob, do big damage. Genos' equip is tied for the fastest 2-turn Void active with Green Zera Core's equip, making it quite awesome for red row farming with the 4 red rows. It could also be used as a void option for endgame teams, mainly Genos, as a multi-turn effect may be preferred for certain dungeons. And that's all that caught my eye, at least from those in the machine. Before I dig into the MVP of the collab, let me mention a couple minor things. Boros looks like a failed fairy robot hybrid who might seem cool to play in theory, but difficult to viably play in practice. His equip is pretty cracked though, with an awakening set reminiscent to the Samurai 3 that contains a powerful 2-turn haste and 5-turn color void active. In fact, it could be used on floor 1 of MD2 to haste up the transform cards, and then the 5-turn duration will be enough to rush through the first 2 floors, bypassing the random possibility of a fatal color absorb on floor 2. Base Silverfang seems like a strong spinner override sub option, with his active even eclipsing Cecilia in terms of speed. Add that to his substantial firepower and all of a sudden, Silverfang looks quite appealing. It's unfortunate that the spinner latent exists, but he'd still be pretty good in MD1 until Patty completely stonewalls the team. His ultimate evolution looks decent at first, but the active seems quite awkward. I probably won't ever do this, but if you want to create content on YouTube, you can dig through the possibility of some degenerate rainbow team with Puri-puri Prisoner, Todo, and either Omlineo or Noctaria as the foundation. Or maybe I'll do it, I don't know. Mumen Rider has a pretty interesting active that may be worth looking out for, but I haven't really thought of a particular application yet. Alright, now let's dig into the star of the show, Garou. Though he's a black metal exchangeable card, Garou is an insane pseudo unmatchable static cleric and orb generator. Furthermore, his insane awakenings and identically dark main and sub attribute allow him to output immense amounts of damage. Of course, without context, most cards are whatever, but for Garou, he gets the perfect stage with the debut of Blackbird, who can utilize Garou to an almost frightening degree in the endgame. Even without Blackbird, Garou works well with current leads like Yuji and Maito. Everyone should invest in at least 1, if not 2 copies. And that's my take on the One Punch Man collab in 10 minutes or less. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next event, and as always, good luck and have fun.